Hello, beautiful souls. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the complexities of love, desire, and the unexpected turns life can take. Today, we're heading to the enchanting city of Verona Springs, where the sun sets in hues of gold and the air is thick with the scent of blooming magnolias. This is a story of a woman named Ashley Monroe who finds herself at a crossroads, caught between the life she has and the desires she never imagined. If you're ready to dive into this tale of intrigue and passion, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Your support means the world to me, and I can't wait to share this captivating story with you. Let's begin. In the picturesque city of Verona Springs, where the streets are lined with cherry blossom trees and the air is filled with the melody of distant church bells, Ashley Monroe lived a life that many would envy. At 36, she was the picture of grace and elegance, her auburn hair cascading down her back like a waterfall of silk. Her husband, Michael, was a successful architect, his name synonymous with luxury and innovation. Together, they had built a life of comfort and sophistication. Their son, John, was a spirited 16-year-old with a mind as sharp as his wit. He was the light of Ashley's life, and she cherished every moment with him. Yet, despite the outward appearance of perfection, Ashley felt a growing sense of restlessness. Michael's demanding career often kept him away, leaving Ashley to navigate the quiet moments alone. One crisp morning, as the first rays of sunlight filtered through the curtains, Ashley awoke with a sense of anticipation. Michael had left early for a business trip, and the house was enveloped in a serene silence. She decided to indulge in a moment of self-care, a ritual that always left her feeling renewed. She slipped into her favorite silk robe, its fabric whispering against her skin, and made her way to the bathroom. As she applied a face mask, she caught a glimpse of herself in the mirror. Her skin glowed with a youthful radiance, and her eyes sparkled with a hint of mischief. She smiled, feeling a surge of confidence. After her shower, she donned her favorite red lingerie, a choice that made her feel powerful and alluring. As she dried her hair, she noticed a change in the atmosphere, a subtle shift that made her heart race. It was then that she remembered John had returned home after a week away at camp. The sound of the front door opening startled her, pulling her from her thoughts. She quickly wrapped herself in a towel, her heart pounding with a mix of surprise and something she couldn't quite name. As she stepped out of the bathroom, she came face to face with John, who was trying to avoid eye contact. "Ashley, I'm sorry," he stammered, his voice tinged with embarrassment. "I didn't know you were in here." Ashley felt a rush of heat to her cheeks, but she managed to keep her voice steady. "It's okay, John. I was just finishing up." Their eyes met for a brief moment, and in that instant, Ashley felt a strange electricity pass between them. She quickly retreated to her room, her mind racing with a mix of emotions. As the day unfolded, Ashley found herself thinking about the encounter. She recalled the way John had looked at her, the intensity in his eyes, and the way her heart had skipped a beat. She tried to shake the thoughts away, but they lingered, growing more insistent with each passing moment. That evening, Michael called to say he would be home late, and Ashley felt a pang of disappointment. She had hoped for a quiet evening with him, a chance to reconnect. Instead, she found herself alone with her thoughts, the house feeling emptier than ever. She sat on the couch, sipping a glass of wine. She heard a knock on the door. It was John, his expression a mix of hesitation and determination. "Ashley, can we talk?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Ashley nodded, gesturing for him to sit beside her. The air was thick with tension, and as they sat in silence, Ashley felt a warmth spreading through her. She noticed the way John's eyes lingered on her, the way his fingers drummed nervously on his knee. "Ashley, I've been thinking," he began, his voice steady but filled with emotion. "I've noticed things have been different between us lately. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like there's something more." Ashley's heart raced, her mind a whirlwind of thoughts. She felt a pull towards him, a desire she had never anticipated. As he spoke, she felt herself leaning in, her hand brushing against his. The touch was electric, sending a shiver down her spine. She looked into his eyes, seeing the same longing reflected there. In that moment, the world seemed to fade away, leaving only the two of them. "John," she whispered, her voice trembling with a mix of fear and excitement. "I feel it too." Their lips met in a kiss that was both tender and passionate, a moment that seemed to last an eternity. As they embraced, Ashley felt a rush of emotions, a blend of guilt and exhilaration. The kiss was a spark that ignited a fire within them. As their lips moved in sync, Ashley felt a warmth spreading through her body, a sensation that was both foreign and exhilarating. She felt John's hands on her waist, pulling her closer, and she responded in kind, her fingers tangling in his hair. The world around them faded away, leaving only the sound of their breathing and the pounding of their hearts. "Ashley," John whispered, his voice husky with desire. "I've wanted this for so long." His words sent a shiver down her spine, and she felt a thrill of excitement mixed with a pang of guilt. But in that moment, she couldn't resist the pull she felt towards him. She kissed him again, deeper this time, her body responding to his touch in ways she hadn't anticipated. They moved together, their bodies pressed against each other, the heat between them growing with each passing second. Ashley felt John's hands roam over her body, leaving a trail of fire in their wake. She gasped as he kissed her neck, his lips soft and insistent. The night unfolded in a haze of passion and intensity. They moved from the living room to the bedroom, their hands and lips exploring each other with a hunger that seemed insatiable. Ashley felt a sense of freedom she hadn't experienced in years, a release from the constraints of her everyday life. As they lay together, their bodies entwined, Ashley felt a mix of emotions. There was the thrill of the moment, the excitement of being desired, and the guilt of betraying Michael. But in John's arms, she felt alive, her senses heightened, her heart racing with a mix of fear and exhilaration. "John," she whispered, her voice barely above a whisper. "What are we doing?" He looked at her, his eyes filled with a mix of desire and tenderness. "I don't know," he admitted. "But I can't stop thinking about you. I can't stop wanting you." His words resonated with her, and she felt a connection with him that she hadn't expected. They lay in silence for a while, their bodies still close, their hearts beating in unison. The morning light filtered through the curtains, casting a soft glow over the room. Ashley awoke with a start, the events of the night before flooding back to her. She turned to look at John, who was still asleep beside her, his face peaceful and innocent. Her heart ached with a mix of regret and longing. She knew she had crossed a line, and the weight of her actions settled heavily on her shoulders. She slipped out of bed, careful not to wake him, and quickly dressed. She stood in the kitchen, making coffee. She heard John stir. He entered the room, his hair disheveled, his eyes filled with a mix of uncertainty and hope. "Ashley," he began, his voice tentative. "About last night." She held up a hand, stopping him mid-sentence. "We can't talk about this now," she said, her voice firm but trembling. "I need time to think." John nodded, his expression a mix of disappointment and understanding. "Okay," he said softly. "But please don't shut me out." The days that followed were a blur of guilt and confusion. Ashley found herself avoiding John, the tension between them palpable. She knew she had to address the situation, but the thought of confronting it filled her with dread. One evening, as Ashley was preparing dinner, John entered the kitchen. The air was thick with unspoken words, and Ashley's heart pounded in her chest. "Ashley, we need to talk," John said, his voice steady but filled with emotion. Ashley nodded, her hands trembling as she set down the knife she was holding. "I know," she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. They sat at the kitchen table, the silence between them heavy with the weight of their shared secret. Ashley took a deep breath, gathering the courage to speak. "John, what happened between us? It was a mistake," she began, her voice trembling. "I love your father, and I don't want to hurt him." John's eyes met hers, and in them, she saw a mix of hurt and understanding. "I know," he said softly. "But I can't deny what I feel for you." Ashley's heart ached at his words, but she knew she had to be strong. "We can't let this happen again," she said firmly. "We need to move on." As the weeks passed, Ashley and John worked to rebuild their relationship, focusing on the bond they shared as stepmother and stepson. It was a difficult journey, filled with moments of tension and awkwardness, but they were determined to make it work. Michael, unaware of the turmoil that had unfolded, continued to be the loving and supportive husband Ashley had always known. She cherished their time together, grateful for the stability he provided. One evening, as they sat on the porch, watching the sunset, Michael turned to her with a thoughtful expression. "Ashley, is everything okay?" he asked, his voice filled with concern. Ashley hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "Yes, everything's fine," she replied, forcing a smile. Michael reached for her hand, giving it a gentle squeeze. "You know you can talk to me about anything, right?" Ashley's heart swelled with gratitude. "I know," she said softly. "And I appreciate that more than you know." In the months that followed, Ashley found herself on a path to redemption. She focused on her relationship with Michael, pouring her heart into making their marriage stronger than ever. She also worked on rebuilding her relationship with John, striving to create a harmonious family dynamic. One day, as she was tidying up the living room, she came across a photo of herself, Michael, and John from a family vacation. She smiled, remembering the joy they had shared. It was a reminder of the life she had built and the love that surrounded her. Ashley realized that she had a choice to make. She could either let her past mistakes define her, or she could learn from them and move forward. She chose the latter, determined to be the best version of herself for her family. As the seasons changed, so did Ashley. She had come to terms with her past mistakes and was determined to move forward with a renewed sense of purpose. She realized that life was a journey, filled with challenges and unexpected turns, but also with moments of beauty and grace. One evening, as she sat on the porch, watching the stars twinkle in the night sky, she felt a sense of peace wash over her. She knew that she had been given a second chance, and she was grateful for it. Ashley decided to talk to John about their relationship. She wanted to clear the air and ensure that they were both on the same page moving forward. Ashley found John in his room, sitting at his desk, absorbed in his studies. She knocked softly on the door, and he looked up, surprised to see her. "Hey, can we talk?" she asked, her voice gentle. John nodded, gesturing for her to come in. "Sure, what's up?" Ashley took a deep breath, gathering her thoughts. "I just wanted to talk about what happened between us," she began. "I know it was a difficult time for both of us, and I want to apologize for my part in it." John listened intently, his expression serious. "I appreciate that, Ashley," he said. "I know it wasn't easy for you either." Ashley continued, "I want us to move past this and have a healthy relationship. You're an important part of my life, and I don't want what happened to come between us." John smiled, a genuine smile that reached his eyes. "I feel the same way," he said. "I want us to be okay." They talked for a while longer, clearing the air and setting boundaries for their relationship. By the end of the conversation, they both felt a sense of relief and a renewed sense of hope for the future. With her relationship with John on more solid ground, Ashley turned her attention back to Michael. She realized that she had been so focused on her own internal struggles that she had neglected their marriage. One evening, she planned a special dinner for the two of them. She cooked his favorite meal, set the table with candles, and put on soft music. As they sat down to eat, she looked at him with a newfound appreciation. "Michael, I want to thank you for being such a wonderful husband," she said, her voice filled with sincerity. "You've been so patient and understanding, and I don't know what I would do without you." Michael smiled, reaching across the table to take her hand. "I love you, Ashley," he said. "And I'm here for you no matter what." Their conversation flowed easily, and they talked about their hopes, dreams, and plans for the future. Ashley felt a warmth spreading through her, a sense of contentment and happiness that she hadn't felt in a long time. As the evening wore on, Ashley and Michael moved to the living room, where they continued to talk and laugh. They reminisced about their past, shared their dreams for the future, and reaffirmed on their love for each other. Ashley felt a sense of peace and fulfillment, knowing that she had made the right choices. She realized that life was too short to dwell on mistakes and that the most important thing was to cherish the people who mattered most. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the complexities of love, desire, and redemption. If you enjoyed this story and want to explore more tales of intrigue and passion, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Turn on notifications so you never miss an episode, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Your support and feedback are what make this adventure possible.